Beyond blown away at how fast you guys have purchased the new merch. Please use the code to get yourselves 20% off until July 10th.
We would be honored if you would join us.
What's going on, everyone? So it would seem the Rise of Skywalker has a million different titles all around the world. Naturally, you know, there are different languages, obviously, other than just English. So you can imagine that the Rise of Skywalker will be translated into different languages. So with that being said, there are many different meanings that these languages have, and the Rise of Skywalker isn't really the Rise of Skywalker all around the world. In other countries like Japan or Turkey or wherever you might live, it's actually different and it has a different meaning. There's one in particular, however, and we're going to go over some of these from this website that posted it, and we're going to do our own little translator ourselves in the language of Polish. I don't think the language of Polish, in Polish itself. So all you Polskis out there, hey, thank you for watching. Love you guys. So in certain languages, it's going to mean something different. It's not going to be the Rise of Skywalker. It's going to show you a different meaning. So for English language, of course, you know, Skywalker will rise. Now, whether that's plural, as Skywalker is just, you know, Luke, or is it Anakin, or Rey, or Kylo, or whoever, or maybe a collective, or all Force users are now going to be known as Skywalkers, or does it mean something entirely different, which can only be kind of sort of debunked or understood from other languages and their translations? So in Japan, Star Wars Dawn of Skywalker. All right, fair enough. Greece, Skywalker The Rise. Same thing. Latin America, Skywalker The Rise. Russia, Episode 9 Skywalker The Dawn. So these are all very similar. However, there's one in particular that is very, very different. And they even name it themselves as Polish, the Polish variation that translates closer to rebirth or revival. So let's put it in here. Here we go. Odrodzeni. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. If we put it into the dictionary or the translator, it says revival. So as we know, Google Translate isn't always the most accurate. So I've actually looked at some people who live in Poland, including some friends who actually live there, and I've asked them to directly translate it for themselves. And it actually, according to a lot of people online as well, means resurrection. Could this mean revival of Palpatine? I think so. I would love to think so. If we look at the actual trailer for Rise of Skywalker, and if we go all the way to the end, we get this. Skywalker Odrodzeni. Okay, so basically, if we put that in here and translates to Skywalker Revival. Now, I'm thinking, you know, yeah, okay, it could be, you know, the Dawn of Skywalker, the Rise of Skywalker, Skywalker Returns, kind of like it's talking about revival, or, you know, this website, what is the website? Universe. They talk of the Polish variation that they talk of the Polish variation that translates closer to rebirth. So I'm thinking, you know, the only thing that's really being rebirthed here, or reborn, resurrected, is Palpatine. And we have lots of, you know, theories and leaks and stuff like that floating around the internet. Basically says that Palpatine will be returning in some way, shape, or form. Now, how I believe he'll return, I hope it's going to be more than just, you know, a hologram that Kylo is looking into, or his voice, you know, circling around, you know, the Death Star or something like that. How I hope he returns is he actually returns in the flesh. So how can that be done? Either he returns as this like old, decrepit, and I mean, he was already old in the 80s, right? So like, you know, they made Palpatine like this 90-year-old being, and he's looks much older, but he's actually supposed to be just like 90. And in Return of the Jedi, he's like this like old, decrepit being, and now he would just be even more decrepit and old. He'd be like 130. Yeah, 120 or 130 years old. He wouldn't be that old, but he'd be pretty old. But I'm just saying, how I think he's going to return is that he's going to actually enter the body of a dark acolyte of the Sith. So this is someone who's been following Palpatine and basically part of the First Order. However, there was, you know, a contingency plan when Palpatine died, and, you know, everything that he had laid out, which we saw in the Battlefront 2 game, in the story mode and everything like that. So what I'm thinking is going to happen here, he's going to eventually, a body that can actually take his power, take his immense strength and power within the Force, and someone that can move the Force, you know, the way he can, a conduit, basically. Someone that is powerful enough to handle his essence transfer, essentially. And I think what's going to happen after that is he's basically going to come back in this younger vessel, this younger form, this younger guy or girl, you never know. and which would be weird. And he's basically just going to take over and fight Rey and Kylo, and they're both going to have to team up and try to take this younger Palpatine down. Because what is Palpatine at the end of the day? Is it just the perfect nose and the chin and, you know, coming out of the robe like that? Or is it the actual essence of Palpatine? You know, his brain, his mind, his soul, his very Force being and his Force essence, and I think that is exactly what Palpatine is. Now, how this can actually work, it's been mentioned in canon itself, from the novels, from a certain point of view, and Qui-Gon actually formulates himself into his fleshy being of how he used to be for the very first time in front of Obi-Wan. He's not just a corporal spirit, he's not just a voice anymore at this point. So this is something that has been written in canon, and Force ghosts are basically able to make themselves look like anything, and that was something that was explained in that novel. That was something that was pretty cool to me, because we never really dove into that. So I could see Palpatine doing something like that. However, in this case, he wouldn't need to, because he has this young vessel that he just takes over, and it's obviously got to be someone who can handle this power. It's like the Infinity Gauntlet has to be powerful enough to handle the stones, right? And then in unison, they can all be used together, and you know. So I think that's what Palpatine's going to do. Now, I just wanted to basically give you guys some insight on this odwrócone, or however you... My Polish fans, please save me here and let me know how I can pronounce this. But anyways, it means revival. So I think that it's... I would like to think that it's paying some homage to Palpatine, you know, giving a little Easter egg, a little flash forward there of what is about to come. So I want to know what you guys think about it. Do you think it's just, you know, another translation from, you know, in another language? Or does it actually have some, you know, paying homage to Palpatine himself returning? So let me know what you think. I love you all. Thank you for watching. Hit like on this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you always.